I'm going to give you a little overview on our Option 6 sight. We're introducing this sight for 2015 from Trophy Taker. I've been working on this design for almost 2 years now. Many of you have seen some things about this sight already, but we're going to bring you up, give you kind of a close-up overview of it, go over all the features. First of all, you can see that the mount bracket here is a little different than most. We've got 2 sets of holes here. Basically, the problem you run into when you set up bows for customers or various sizes of archers, the peep heights vary quite a bit. So the problem you run in with a lot of sights is they won't go low enough. So that's why I've done this. The standard mount position here, of course, is going to work for the majority of us. But if we've got somebody that shoots with a lower peep height, you just bolt it to the bow with the next set of holes up, and it allows your peep to start out, your sight to start out 3/4 of an inch lower. Obviously, the extension bar here allows for a little over 4 inches of extension. It's basically like a 6-inch extension on the sight, because from the sight head to the back here is about 6 inches, but it allows for about 4 inches of adjustment. This adjustment right here is for the micro adjust elevation. Loosen this lockdown bolt and turn this knob. For every click, it moves the sight 0.02 of an inch vertically. Similar is the windage adjustment right here. You loosen this bolt and use this knob. Every click moves it left or right 0.02 of an inch. The second axis leveling system is right here. This piece right here has a chamfer machined into it so that it acts as a rocker against this piece. These 4 bolts, these 2 up here and these 2 down here, are how you adjust it for the leveling for the second axis. By loosening these 2 bolts, say a 1/2 turn, and tightening these 1/2 turn, you will level the sight this way, which will put it on what is called the second axis, basically leveling for shooting on flat ground. Now, I've had some people ask why we don't have another second axis adjustment at the level bubble. Basically, we're machining this sight to tight enough tolerances, and we will be checking each one before it goes out to make sure that this level bubble bracket is perfectly level with the pin guard, so you don't need a second place to adjust that second axis. Some of you know what I'm talking about there, and some of you don't. It doesn't really matter as long as we're checking that. Speaking of that, while we're on axis, the third axis adjustment, you can see right here, this bracket that holds the level bubble also has a chamfer machined on the front of it. These 2 bolts right here adjust that over a rocker type of a system once again. This allows you to actually sight that in the field. I will go over that on a video that we shoot outside later, but basically by tightening one side, loosening the other side, it adjusts the level bubble this way, which is going to level for your uphill and downhill shooting. The main feature of this sight is the fact that this pin guard opens. Now, this pin guard houses the fixed pins, and this pin guard houses the movable pin. These knobs, top and bottom, adjust the movable pin. For every complete turn of the knob, it moves the movable pin a 1/2 inch. So that makes it really quick to run it all the way through the full travel. That pin does have 1.2 inches of travel from the top stop to where it bottoms out just above the level bubble. Obviously, this feature is so that you can shoot with fixed pins in your view for those quick opportunities in the field when you're hunting, and then on a moment's notice you can open it out of the way. You can shoot it as a pure 1-pin movable sight, or you can just open it for certain shot opportunities. This scale right here, the sight will come with a variety of sight tapes that should fit most every archer's need as far as the speed of your bow and sighting it in for whatever yardage range you want. You can see the indicator pin it's actually more of an indicator blade right here, is adjustable also. So if you get the sight tape on there and you didn't have it quite centered on your indicator blade, you just loosen these two screws right here and you can slide this blade up and down. It has about 1/8 of an inch of adjustment right there. The driver system, you can kind of see a little bit through this window right here, but this driver system is basically a helix rod threaded through a cylinder that houses the adjustable block for the movable pin. On the back side here, you'll see this molded fiber guard. That is where the fiber from the movable pin comes into, and it is threaded here so that it accepts a light, so that you can light just the movable pin, or you can attach a light also right here where it will light just the fixed pins. Obviously this molded fiber guard around here is where the fibers are housed for the fixed pins. Each fixed pin has just under 1 foot of fiber lighting it. The movable pin, our standard configuration is with the movable pin having a 10 thousandths fiber and the fixed pins having 19 thousandths fibers. You'll notice that the fixed pin guard, when it's open or closed, is held with magnets. In the open position, you'll see the 3 magnets here that are holding it when it's in the closed position, and there's 3 more magnets in these little bumps right here. That's what holds it closed, and there is a rubber cushioning ring here that makes sure that there's no vibration when it's held in the closed position. Same thing when it's open. Over here you'll see these rubber cushion bumpers are between the magnets. There's 2 magnets here and 2 magnets here that hold it open. It's held closed with about 3 pounds of pressure. Hopefully that answers some of the questions on this thing. This first model is 100% US made. All the machine parts are 7075 aluminum. The pivot pin system here, these pins are made out of titanium, and we're using all blackened stainless fasteners and sight pins. The sight pin, one other thing I didn't mention is the movable sight pin is adjustable for windage adjustment, so that depending on if you torque your bow slightly, all of us shoot it slightly different as far as the way we grip our bows. So that pin is adjustable back and forth to make sure it lines up perfectly with the fixed pins. Also, the fixed pins have a small set screw in the base of each of the fixed pin here. That allows for fine-tuning each of those fixed pins. This will be done when the sight is assembled, but if ever anything happened and you need to touch that up, you just loosen one of those and you can adjust each of those pins individually in and out for windage and for rotation so that the fiber is facing your eye perfectly. As I said, this first model is the high quality materials, all US made. We will have another version of this sight coming later in the summer of 2015 that will be a more economical version. This first model does have a retail of $549. Holds up even to dropping it on the table. Anyway, you can check us out on Facebook, at Trophy Taker's Facebook, at my personal Facebook, Dan Evans. We will have information up on our website within the next week or so at trophytaker.com. Thank you for your interest.